What's up, guys? Today we're going to talk about marketing terms for beginners. I had somebody reach out and say, hey, I love this marketing stuff, but I really just want to know all the terms just for beginners. Some people don't know what means what. So in this video, we're going to go over all the terms, and I'm going to keep it dummy proof so you guys can walk away with a clear understanding of how the marketing lingo works. So let's get into it. So the very first thing is brand. What is brand? Your brand is what people feel and think when they see your name. It's pretty much it. Like, is how people interpret you. That's brand. Next thing, what is branding? I feel like branding is an icon that people can see and recognize your brand immediately, like the Nike check, right? Or Adidas 3 stripes. For us, for Pathfinder, I have like a P. It's just an icon that's like a quick signal. People understand who you are and what you are just with quick imagery. So target audience, who is that? That is a specific group of people that you want to reach. So your buyers, people you want to communicate your message to. So for example, if you have a tire business like athleisure, you want to target like people that go to the gym, right? Or business casual, like that's your market of consumers. So your target audience is pretty much who you want to target to communicate your message to and ultimately have them take action with you. Next, niche. What is niche? Niche is like a specific group of that market, right? So out of the fitness market, there might be bodybuilders. That's a specific niche inside of the athleisure wear. There might be yoga instructors, right? That's a niche. It's like a sliver of the pie as a whole. Value proposition, pretty much like why someone would choose you over everybody else is what like a value proposition is. What is the value that you're bringing to the market that's unique to you? Offer. An offer is exactly what you're selling. There's obviously way smarter people that make content about offers. Alex Hormozi is my go-to when I speak about offers. So $100 Million Offers was Hormozi's first book. Incredible book. If you have any level of like wanting to understand an offer, read that book. It'll have great information. But for us, we have a podcast studio. Our attraction offer is record your first session for $99. Record a podcast for $99. So whatever your business is, let's stick to the athletic wear, right? You'd want to do offer around your athletic wear. So buy one pair of shorts, get another one free, right? Or buy a tank top, get your shorts free. That an offer is like someone needs to know exactly what they're getting just by reading the headline. That's what a really good offer is. And to take it a step further, Hormozi says an offer is something that is so good that people feel stupid saying no to. So offer. Next is the hook. There's a lot of ways to get a hook across, but essentially it's the first 3 seconds of the video that captivates your audience and gets them to listen to the next 3 seconds or 5 seconds or next part of your video. And a great hook will get them engaged to the next part, and then the next part gets them engaged to the call to action. So it's like hook, body, call to action. And there's a lot of great frameworks on doing that, but the hook is the first 3 seconds to captivate your audience. Next, CTA, or otherwise known as call to action. So a call to action is once they consume your hook, once they consume your offer, what the next thing you want them to do. So the call to action is essentially the next step. So when the hook is meant to capture their attention, the offer is meant to give them what you're selling, and now the next thing is what the call to action, what the next thing you want them to do. So if we stick to the athletic wear, the next thing we want them to do is go to the store link, right? Or if there's many other types of businesses, for us, our call to action is to get them to our website or our booking page to get them to look for a studio time slot that they like so that they could check out. So call to action is the very next step after they consume your content. You want them to click here, whatever you want them to do. You want them to book a call, you want them to go to your website, you want them to comment the word pod99 for us, right? That's the call to action. CAC, customer acquisition cost. So it's basically how much it costs to acquire a customer. So for us, our CAC, it's kind of high. Sometimes it's $180, right? $180 to acquire a customer. But once we acquire the customer, our attraction offer is only $99. So we have to either upsell them an editing package or get them to book their next studio session in order for us to recoup on the front end. But if we go into the next term, it's called LTV, the lifetime value of a customer. So the lifetime value of our customers, it ranges. It's anywhere from thousands and thousands of dollars to tens of thousands of dollars to hundreds of thousands of dollars, depending on what tier they onboard with us. So we can afford to onboard a client for $180, knowing that we're going to have a lifetime relationship with them because our service is so good and we value our customers. So that's a 2-for-1 special right there. CAC, customer acquisition cost. LTV, lifetime value. So the lifetime value of your customer. So how much money a customer will spend with you over the lifetime is LTV. CTR, click-through rate. Percentage of people who click, right? So however many people see your content, then the CTR is the click-through rate of those people. CPC, cost per click. How much does it cost per click? So it depends on the different types of campaigns, right? Like if you're running a direct to landing page ad, some of those CPCs are super cheap. You could get a cost per click for 16 cents, right? But like how much does it cost for those clicks to go through? So for example, right now we're running a Valentine's Day offer for our studio, and it's called Date Night with a Mic. We're having 16-cent click-throughs, right? So that sounds pretty good on the surface. We've had 1,156 click-throughs as the last time I looked at it, and it's cost us like $180. But of those 1,000 people that have clicked through, we'd had 0 buys. So again, you have to be mindful. There's a lot of interpretations. This is not the video to go into like the data, but when it comes to marketing, you want to collect data, right? That's not a great metric. It's also not terrible, but we have to conclude the test at the end when this is a finite test. When Valentine's Day happens, we'll cease our campaign and we'll be able to take the data away of like how much sales we made, how much cost per click, and if it was all worth it, right? So sorry, that was long-winded. Cost per click, CPC. CPM, cost per 1,000 impressions. So basically it's how much it costs for 1,000 impressions. So again, depending on the campaign, it'll tell you, what your CPM, cost per impressions. CPL, how much one lead costs. So cost per lead, right? So we run a lot of engagement ads, which we want them to just send us a message, and then we'll take the conversation, lead them to our landing page, et cetera, et cetera. That's my favorite way to market, at least for my personal business. I like engagement messaging ads, and a cost per lead, our KPI is $7. I don't ever really want to pay more than $7 per messaging, but sometimes I'll let them go up to $14, $15, $16, even $18. I will absolutely cut them if they're over $20 because it's too much, I think, for what we're selling. Because sometimes I've had campaigns that are like converting at like $14 and I've gotten sales that, are in hundreds of dollars. And I'm like, holy crap, I could have just let these other campaigns run. So I like to keep them around $7. I'll let them go to about 18. Anything beyond that, I cut them. Again, personal for my business, but with your business, you could get to understand your data, and when you start to see your sales and all that stuff, you can make your own judgment calls. Again, not the video for that. This is just explaining what these mean. Metapixels, or any type of pixels. Pixels are pretty much a code that tracks actions on your website. So when you're running ads, they collect data and they know who went where on your website, and then it also could choose to like retarget them. So it's just a thing that collects data. Attribution, how Meta credits a sale of an ad. So like pretty much if someone buys something right off your website from the ad, that's how they credit a sale to an ad. ROAS, return on ad spend. How much revenue you make per dollar spent. So pretty simple, right? So it depends on your offer and what you're selling, right? Like our $99 attraction offer, sometimes it costs up to $180 for the CAC. But if we, convert them at lifetime value, it ends up penciling out. Also, like because our $99 attraction offer, I like to have our conversions as low as possible as far as messaging and all that stuff. But for some offers, like let's say it cost you $180, right? And you made a sale that was $2,000, your return on ad spend is like 20x, right? Or whatever the case may be. But for us, because our lower ticket offer is so small, our ROAS is a lot smaller. So like if I can get someone to buy, that's why I keep our cost per lead so low. Like it has to be so cheap because we're only selling a $99 thing. So like if their conversions are like beyond $20, $30, $40, $50, $60, $80 and like $90 just to get a message, it's just never going to make sense, right? It'll probably make sense in the end, but not at scale. So ROAS is for you. Creative. We refer to creative as any piece of content that you see when you run ads. Primary text, main caption above the ad. Headline, bold text under the ad. UGC, That's a big one. I notice a lot of people don't know. User generated content. So that's like testimonial ads. Like you see like influencers doing phone videos like, hey, today I went through like da 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 da. Those are UGCs. And a hack for a lot of you guys out there is you don't have to get all this fancy production. If you do, come to the Pod Place, you could get it for $99. But you could hire a UGC creator for like $150 and you don't need to deal with any of the production. You just give them a script, they create the content, you plug it right into your media and your ad account, and boom, you have an ad. And those are, I consider, the most prominent marketing phrases or acronyms, things that the lingo. Hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions, drop them below and I'll help out however we can. If you need help on the marketing side of things, we are not necessarily taking on any new clients for Pathfinder. That's our marketing firm. But if you have some questions, feel free to reach out, send me an email. It's in my bio, or drop a comment and I'll be sure to reach out and be as helpful as I can and be a resource for you. So again, thank you guys. Make sure you subscribe and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.